is not particularly happy doing this story, but then there are some stories which you and I need to know so that we can react on it and not let it repeat ever again. This is a story from Kerala, a nightmare of a story of 84-year-old Bharathi Amma from Kuniseri in Palakkad, Kerala. This is a story of mistaken identity and of how the Kerala police's complete goof up and lack of due diligence created both mental and physical agony for 84-year-old Bharathi Amma. She could be your mother, my mother, your aunt, our friend's mother. Bharathi Amma right now on your screens. That is Bharathi Amma, 84-year-old. Now the story, or rather the case, began 26 years ago. A woman who worked as house help in Rajagopal's home was also called Bharathi. This Bharathi created a major ruckus in her employee's home one day, vandalizing his property. A complaint was registered with the police, but this Bharathi secured bail and then coolly absconded, where she had been working as a maid. The real accused, however, absconded after securing bail, like I said, and what is really worse is, this is where one is aghast at what the Palakkad police could do, or rather not do. The real accused, Bharathi, gave the address of this elderly Bharathi Amma, against whom allegedly had been nursing a grudge. The case was dormant for several years, but suddenly in 2019, the police reached Bharathi Amma's house at Kuniseri to take her into custody. Yes, both women shared a name, but to take someone else into custody is beyond bizarre. The widowed Bharathi Amma pleaded with the police how they were mistaken, but to no avail. Bharathi told the police that her husband, Gangadharan, worked with PWD in Tamil Nadu and had died while in service. The police paid no heed to the fact that this Bharathi Amma was rather well off and didn't really need to work as house help for a living. Bharathi Amma spoke about her ordeal. It will be on your screens just now. It was on Aliyam Day after Onam that the police came to my house to arrest me. I told them that I have not worked as a maid anywhere. The police waited from morning till evening at my house. They said if I didn't go with them, they would bring women officers and then arrest me. The police left only after my relatives promised that they would present me at the station the next day. Bharathi Amma was of course granted bail, but not before she went through excruciating agony for 4 long years. And ladies and gentlemen, at her age, that is 80 plus on your screens right now, you saw her, 84-year-old, that's Bharathi Amma. Bharathi Amma. Finally, on 1st of August, that is 2 days ago, it was a new dawn for Bharathi Amma as the court in Palakkad let her off after the complainant, that is Rajagopal, said he doesn't wish to pursue the case which was registered long back in 1998. And of course, the crux of the matter, that Bharathi Amma had been wrongly implicated. I know what you are asking yourself. Exactly what I am going to ask you in turn. Who is responsible for Bharathi Amma's ordeal? The police, the complainant Rajagopal, the society, or just her old age which made her such an easy target? Let's discuss this. And we've got guests today who will not just make some comments and then go away, but these are people who have been involved in the case. Her advocate, Girish Nochulli, who's from Palakkad, Kerala, has joined us. A very, very warm welcome to him. Also B.V. Anup, who is Bharathi Amma's nephew, and also Father Edward Thomas, who is an activist. All these people are now joining us on the broadcast. I will first ask the lawyer, Girish. Girish sir, namaskaram. It is a very sad case, you know, it will bring tears to a lot of people. You know, we saw such a travesty. This is a miscarriage of justice. Tell us, where is the case? Of course, the court has let off Bharathi Amma, but where is the case right now, Girish?
Just narrate the case details in a short span of time.
Please.
In 1998, the case was registered against one Bharathi Amma who has committed an offence in the house of one Mr. Rajagopal's father, Govindamutti Menon, destroying the garden and some pots and using some abusive words. That is the case. She was arrested and produced before the JFCM number 3 magistrate court and released on self-bond. After that, she is not found out. Another Bharathi Amma. And there is a flashback in this case that our present Bharathi Amma, who acquitted yesterday from the JFCM number 3 court, has filed another case in 1994 before the Alathur police station against the other Bharathi. In that case also, the police given a statement to the present Bharathi Amma stating that the case cannot be, the accused cannot be found out and the case cannot be charge sheeted because Tumbundakan Kariyathu in Malayalam. They written it and given the statement to the present Bharathi Amma. And after that, again, 1998, another case was registered against the same person, another Bharathi Amma, Bharathi, and who arrested and produced before the JFC number 3 court and released on self-bond. And LP, long pending case was registered against that Bharathi as 49/99 before the JFC number 3 court in the year 1999. And that case was long pending from 1999 to 2019. One day on 2019, the police officers from the Town South Police Station, Palakkad, came to the house of the present Bharathi Amma, who was aged at 80 at the time of in 2019. And they are trying to arrest that lady. Otherwise, you should take bail from the concerned court, appear before the court along with sureties. Otherwise, you will be arrested. She was a retired pensioner's wife. Her husband was working in PWD Tamil Nadu as PWD engineer and retired life. She was going on, and she is getting her husband's pension after her husband's death. And we produced the pension book and other details. The present Bharathi Amma, who present before this honorable court, is not the real culprit. The real culprit is out of the court. She is not found out by the police. From
Mr. Girish, Mr. Girish, I mean, in all this, of course, I'll ask Father Thomas also.
Yes.
But in all this, what is the police doing? I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. I mean, you have, like you said, you showed the pension book. I do not know whether an Aadhaar card is also to be, is relevant here. But you, it's like the joke that you find a Smith everywhere in Britain. I mean, similarly, Anaya, Rameno, there are several Sudhas who are going around. There are several people, but what does it mean? That just because I have the same name, I'll be picked up and at her age. So what was the police doing, sir? Do you think that there was some kind of a conspiracy also hatched by the Palakkad police to have done this?
Yes, definitely. What they are saying is that the 1998, another police officer registered the crime. The person who trying to arrest the present lady, they didn't know. After 20 years back, there will be some physical changes. So they coming to a conclusion that she is the lady. So they are trying to arrest, and she present before the court and got bail.
This is beyond bizarre. This is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you, I called up South Palakkad police station today. They told me, yeah, we know about the case, but it was some other police officer passing the buck. Can you imagine? They went to Bharathi Amma's house and they thought, well, it's 1998 to 2019, her appearance has changed, and you pick up someone and harass her. I mean, what kind of a system is this? And in a state like Kerala, which boasts of high literacy rate, also on all the human indices, if you see, there are check box, there is a major tick. But this is what it means, that you think you made a small mistake, but it can cost people so many years of agony. Anupji, I want to come to you. Please tell us, as her nephew, the kind of ordeal, the kind of troubles that Bharathi Amma went through, Anupji. Bataiye.
डेफिनेटली मैम, उनको बहुत तकलीफ हो गए हैं इस केस में उम्र में, बिकॉज वो अकेला रहता है घर में, एंड शी इज अलोन, शी फील वेरी बैड, and very bad the police officers behavior, and everything. Very, what do you call it?
So when you say police bad behavior, were they rude to her? They did not listen to her. I mean, first of all, Anup ji, if someone comes to me, you know, whatever age, police comes to my house, it is as such, it's a shock. And also she is so elderly, she has no children, Anup ji.
No, no children, no.
And so what happened? Can you describe the day when the police came to her house, Anup ji? बताइए वो दिन जब police आया उनके घर.
No, the police came. हम बताया कि she is not a culprit. She is another one. अभी उनको ये pension book and other IDBT, Aadhaar and everything showed them, and they said no. We have got instruction from our SP. It's a long pending case, so immediately we have to arrest her and we have to take to station. So we said we will not allow. So he told us that we will call female police officers and we are going to take her. Then immediately I contacted my advocate. He said that don't go to police station. Request them. We will produce next day in station or court. As per we requested that officer, in station officer, he allowed us, and we took her to next day to court. From there we got the. Definitely, madam, this is 84 years old lady.
Yes.
Harassed by police, taking her into court for unnecessarily case.
Absolutely, it's harassment. Clear, Father Thomas.
This is a clear case, human rights violation.
It is a violation. That's why I want to bring Father Thomas here. Father Thomas, who's responsible? This is clear human rights violation. An 84-year-old sitting in her house. Of course, the age. I keep today, you know, in the newsroom, we were talking about age. Does age matter? Of course, it matters. You know, the elderly have rights. We have to see that the elderly are safe. You can't possibly be harassing. I'm not saying that a young person should be harassed, but that age, it's debilitating, you know. So please tell us that, you know, can I, if I were there, I mean, I'm sure our family is trying, who's to, I mean, should there be a case against the police? Should there be a case against the complainant? I will come to the complainant first, I'll go to Girish later. But please, your opening comments on this extremely sad case from Kerala, sir.
First of all, Bharathi Amma, on behalf of the civil society, we ask you pardon. Because she needs it. 4 years of ordeal, 4 years of torture. It's a mental agony a senior citizen is going through. I personally feel that everybody who knows her and even the police officials meet her and encourage her and be with her. And with regard to this case, what I would like to tell you, just the other day, the DGP of one of the states was pulled up by the Supreme Court and asked, are you serious? Are you sleeping? I think this should be the same question I need to tell the Kerala police. I understand, okay, somebody was given the wrong address, a name happened to be the same. Maybe the beginning, okay, they have taken. But 4 years to take on to the same and victimizing an elderly, this cannot be acceptable. And I think a civil suit has been filed, civil rights suit has been filed against the police officer and the concerned people. And I think as a police officer, looking at the glimpses of the conversation and the circumstances, they should be able to at least doubt. The photograph is there. And also the person, you know, it's not the next door. Maybe this person may not have they may not have come to the court, the complainant. But there has been always a position, the Bharathi Amma was continuously saying, you know, I am not the one. And the family members are saying, neighbors are saying, today video calls are available. And 4 years, they have to just wait. And finally, what I heard is that the family members went to the complainant and explained the situation and they agreed to come to the court. Shame on the police force.
Very well said, and I think that there is shame, there is overall shame, and no one should accept this case. I'm not going to. I am not going to accept this case as one of the other, listed. Like Father Thomas said, there are video calls available. What was the complainant doing? What was the police thinking? How can you do something like this? All of us deserve our rights. We all have our rights. This is clear violation of our basic rights, and this happens in Kerala. And like Father Thomas said, when the judiciary asked police officers, are you serious? Were you sleeping? Even in the case of Manipur, they said, where are the FIRs? What is going on in this country? And I think Bharathi Amma's case is yet again one case, and considering, yes, I am a South Indian, but then this is not about the South or the North. It's about our basic rights. And I think we all need to stand up to say more on this than just merely treating it as a story and moving on. Girish sir, I want to ask you a couple of questions. The thing is, what was the complainant doing? Why is it if theft has happened in my house, it's also my responsibility, to make the correct complaint and also correct the police. Okay, police is sleeping. Okay, police is corrupt. Okay, police has not done due diligence. But what about the complainant? Would you not say that he is also culpable, Girish sir?
In that aspect, complainant filed a complaint before the police, and police arrested the real culprit and produced before the court.
All right.
And that chapter closed. And after that, it was happened in the house of Rajagopal's father. He is aged at 70 at that time. He died after that. Rajagopal CW1 complainant was residing in a separate house from his father's house. So he forgot about this, because in the year 1999 itself, this case was transferred as long pending case. They are not remembering about this case. Only after the nephew, Mr. Anup, and his wife went to his home and telling about this case. Otherwise, what will happen that the police will not inform the complainant about this case, because why it is, if they are not present before the court continuously, the court will acquit the accused without the presence of the complainant. But we are telling on the day itself when the accused was appeared before the court, not accused, Bharathi Amma was appeared before the court. I am not the accused. The real culprit is outside the court. We are telling and writing application and filing before the court, and documents were produced. Even though a report is didn't call for from the police, that is, strictly speaking, there is a fault from the APP also. They can give a direction to the police whether she is an original accused or a duplicate, or where is the real accused. That was not happen. Even in the court, one day in a crowded court, I argued. You may kindly see that I was enrolled in 1998. The case was registered in the year 1998. What is happening here? You may kindly take a report from the police. This elder lady has to be acquitted. She is not the accused. I have filed an application along with the bail application. Even the court is also not considered. What court said is that they let the witness comes and the witness should depose before the court. She is not the accused. On the particular day, yesterday, what I did is that it was informed to the channel and the media. The media persons were standing outside the court. That is the only reason that the APP submitted before the court that this case can be compounded. That means both accused and complainant can be signed and compounding petition can be done. I submitted that the accused will not sign in that application because she is not the accused. Then coming to a conclusion that the complainant will withdraw the complaint. Complainant himself filed an application to withdraw the complaint against this Bharathi Amma is the real accused. I have no complaint against the other accused. So the case was compounded without the signature of the accused.
Yeah, but then but it's a mess. It's a mess from start to finish. I mean, there are no two ways about it. I mean, this is again, I'm saying, Kerala on human rights indices does much better than most states. You talk about literacy. Well, that's not rocket science. About women's literacy, women are empowered, they are educated. It's one of the better governed states, but this is what happens there. I mean, this is, like I said, every stage, if you look at it, if you go back and watch this story again, because it will be repeated, ladies and gentlemen, and for all of us to see that we secure the rights of those who are elderly and innocent, you will see from start to finish, it's a story which has been miscarried at every stage, as it were. Anup ji, ये बताइए कि इन 4 सालों में कितना पैसा उनको खर्चना पड़ा होगा, कितनी बार कोर्ट में जाना पड़ता होगा, कितना मेंटल एगनी होता होगा. I have a mother that age. Do you know, at night when someone knocks at her door, she gets nervous. She gets nervous. She says, you know, I'm scared. Bhayam, that's the word in Tamil. You know, she says, I'm scared. You know, if someone will come. I want you to tell the audiences कि कितना पैसा उनको खर्च करना पड़ा होगा, कितने दिन होंगे जब वो शायद नहीं भी सोई होंगी, कितना प्रॉब्लम उनको होता होगा कि घर को लॉक करके अगर किधर जाना है तो कोई आएगा. बताइए हमारी ऑडियंसेस को, what all she had to face, sir.
जरूर बहुत तकलीफ उठाना पड़ा है, बहुत बिकॉज वो अकेले रहती है घर में. उनको कोई साथ में आना चाहिए. उनको बालाघाट तक ले गए आने के लिए. जब कुनिशेरी बोल के बालाघाट तो 25 किलोमीटर दूर है. आने जाने का गाड़ी और बहुत बहुत मुश्किल है. लाइन में बस में आना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो ऑटो में आना पड़ता है. इस साल में बड़ा मुश्किल, बहुत तकलीफ उठाए उन्होंने. कहीं कहीं रात सोया नहीं. मेरे को फोन करेगा, बेटा क्या हो गया हमारा केस के बारे में, क्या हो गया. एडवोकेट से बात किया, मैं बोला था बात किया है, कल भी बात किया है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कल परसों खत्म हो जाएगा. अगले विटनेस आए, वो कंप्लेंट आएगा, वो बोलेगा आपको छोड़ देगा. ऐसा उसको बोल के हम आराम बताया उनको. क्या करूँ, अनफॉर्चुनेटली कल yesterday good day came for us also. She is relieved from all cases. बहुत तकलीफ उठाओ ना, बहुत पैसा भी खर्च हो गए और आने जाने में बहुत मुश्किल हो गई.
बहुत मुश्किल होता है. Lot of trouble, like you know, her nephew says, Anup says that it was really a nightmare. Father Thomas, you know, how do you on earth pay back for someone's agony like this? You know, this country has so many under trials. They've been shoved into jail for no fault of theirs. It's a story. At the end of the day, you know, a lot of people read it, they say, ayo pavam, or, you know, poor things, and they just, you know, throw the paper away. It's like the next day it is scrap. I want to ask you, who should pay for Bharathi Amma, sir? I mean, for 4 years she's gone through this agony, and also there is a social stigma. No, imagine, it is also social stigma that you can't go out without being asked, oh, what happened to the case? Have you been to court, etc., etc. So tell the viewers, sir.
I think the police force cannot take for granted things. Because you are dealing with a human person and you are dealing with an elderly. And all this way, it is not one policeman or one or two came on that particular day. Okay, one day they can make a mistake because the name is the same, address is the same. But then continuously for next 4 years, what about the court? What about the people around? And the question is that, what is next? I personally feel there should be a suit for civil rights has to be applied for a case study of this sort for the police, because they should understand, they cannot take things for granted. And especially continuous reminders that I am not the culprit by an elderly. And second one, what is the reparation that we are going to make it? What about this elderly woman who suffered for 4 years? What the police force is going to say? Just sorry and get away with it? Is it enough? I think she should be honored and she should feel that she is accepted. And 4 years suffering, police force has to say what we shall do about it. And you are talking about under trials. It's also a matter. I think together with the police and civil society, we need to take very, very serious action on the under trials. And many of them we hear, they are innocent. But I also feel that, the number of policemen is not enough. Cases are on the increase. I think they need to take on the civil societies and civil society organizations to help these cases. And I would like to ask the police again, what are you going to do to Bharathi Amma?
Do you have Do you have hope? Do you think these cases, do they come to fruition? Do they come to a conclusion? I mean, I would like to see, maybe, there is a lawyer here, you are here, but I would like to see that Bharathi Amma is, you can't bring back those, years of agony. Father Thomas, but then at least that she's compensated. Do you think anyone filing a case against the police, because they will come up with 106 reasons to kind of escape? They know very well. I am not talking about Kerala police, talking about several cases one has done like this where there is a miscarriage of justice. Each time they wriggle out. But don't you think there should be some monetary compensation, Father?
Absolutely. And I would like to ask the advocate, what is next? Are you going to file a civil suit on this? Or are you going to ask the police what is next?
Girish, please take that question from Father Thomas. Yes, please, go ahead.
Today, we have filed petition before the Human Rights Commission, Kerala. 3 prayers are there. One is to find out the real culprit, whether she is alive or not. The said Bharathi Amma, the real accused, has to be found out. Second, compensation has to be paid for this Bharathi Amma, who was suffered for the last 4 years in the court, in the court proceedings. And third one is, stringent action has to be taken against the police officers who was tried to arrest and harass the Bharathi Amma on her house to involve in this case. 3 prayers were there. We sent by email to the Chief Minister of Kerala, who is the Home Minister of Kerala, Sri Pinarayi Vijayan. Second one is the Human Rights Commission of Kerala. Both petitions has already been sent to the concerned department. They have to take very well. And the Home Minister, when I'm attending this meeting, there is a call from the Secretariat, and I disconnected that. So it was received to the concerned authorities, but they can very well take stringent action against the police officers who were culprits in this case. A strict action has to be taken to the police officers. Second one, the Rajagopal closed the case. Even though the petition of Bharathi Amma, on the basis of petition of Bharathi Amma, the other culprit, whether she is alive or not, it has to be found out. It is the curiosity of the general public as well as Bharathi Amma, and as an advocate, I am also curious about whether the real culprit live alive or not. And third one, compensation has to be paid. These 3 actions has to be done immediately by the concerned government and the Human Rights Commission of Kerala. That's my reply in this regard.
Right. Anup ji, ये बताइए कि इतने सालों में when she was, undergoing this, Anup, did you talk to politicians, the local MLA, the local politician, to say, please help Bharathi Amma, this is a case which is not, she is not the culprit. आपने किसी से बात की, अगर की तो what kind of response did you get, sir?
Sorry, मैं किसी से बात नहीं किया, कोई एमएलए से, कोई पुलिस ऑफिसर से बात नहीं किया इसके बारे में.
अच्छा, so tell me something, जब आप family function में, let's say ओणम के टाइम मिलते थे, whenever you met during festivals or any other festival, it could be Christmas, it could be Onam, it could be any other festival, did she ever speak about, can you tell the audiences what she would speak about, that Anup, I hope the case, it shuts sooner rather than later. I am very tired, Mone, now. I am very tired. I can't take it anymore. I mean, what kind of thoughts did she have? Let people, I am asking all this not for some voyeuristic pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. One should know the agony. It is not just a story. This is a lived experience. Go on, Anup ji.
Definitely, madam. She always asks any functions at home or marriage, we eat together. So I am taken this space to advocate, and I am moved everything for her. So always she asks me that what happened, beta? This is, I said, आज खत्म नहीं करता, अगले महीने में खत्म हो जाएगा, ऐसा ऐसा बोल के उनको वो आगे यहाँ तक लेके आया. जब वो बहुत बुरे से बेचारा बहुत थक गया था. Previously she was very healthy and everything. 4 साल में बहुत कष्ट उठाया इन्होंने, और आकर बहुत मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, डिप्रेशन तक जैसा हो गया उन्होंने. अभी भी कल से कोई पेपर रिपोर्टर्स और अदर्स ट्राइंग टू कॉन्टैक्ट her. she don't want to meet him because both desperate हो गए उन्होंने.
Did she have health problems also? You say that वो depress हो गई थी. Health उनका अच्छा था? At least health अच्छा होना चाहिए.
Previously वो चार साल पहले she was very good.
Oh.
अभी ये 4 साल वो तो उन्हें जल गया पूरा.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
तकलीफ बहुत उठाया उन्होंने, बहुत तकलीफ बहुत उठाया बिकॉज उनको बच्चा कोई नहीं है, उनका बच्चे लोग अभी हम लोग हैं और कोई नहीं है उनका साथ, अकेले रहते हैं उन्होंने, आपको मालूम है कितना परेशान उठाया होगा उन्होंने.
राइट पर उनका पेंशन आता है पति से. आपने कहा पीडब्ल्यूडी में मिस्टर गंगाधरन वाज वर्किंग इन पीडब्ल्यूडी तमिलनाडु, तो उनके पास पैसा है, मतलब कि वो कष्ट नहीं है उनको.
पैसे के बारे में कष्ट नहीं है मगर चैन नहीं है, केस का वजह से चैन नहीं है उनको.
बिल्कुल. एंड like Anup says, she doesn't have peace. She almost was depressed in these 4 years. Who would not be? And again, age is a factor here. If you are 80 years old and the case starts, and today you are 84-year-old, it is very, very debilitating. And like I said, she could be your mother, my mother. This country which talks about women as goddesses and says Devi hai, ye hai, Navratri hai, this is how they treat a woman, and that to a woman who's not done anything. There is no question of a crime at all. This is how they treat her. Kerala police should stand up and answer, I think, for this gross injustice that has been perpetrated on her. Father Thomas, tell me something. What is the kind of response that you get in cases like this? Will it just be, you know, I know that you do a great job, a stellar job, but like Girish was saying, that you have told the human rights, you know, to take cognizance of this particular case. What all can happen, sir? Do you have any hope, sir? Do you think there will be enough support for her? We live in a world of social media, sir. We live where there is crowdfunding, where you have to make a loud noise to be heard these days. Lone voices go silent.
The police force, I'm not trying to bring down your morals. I think you are doing a great work. But at the same time, this particular clippings has to send to all the policemen of Kerala so that they understand the work which they are doing. They cannot take things for granted. They have to take glimpses from the conversation and circumstances, and they need to act on this. I personally feel Mr. Girish, advocate, has done a good work. He has already following up the case with the Human Rights Commission. We are very happy about that. I'm very sure that Kerala police will act on this particular conversation that we have today. The conversation is not to bring down the morale of the police, but to correct. And it may be a personal story of Bharathi Amma, which can turn into something very, very different while police is acting on the innocents. And we have also a lot of cases not being, you know, in the history on the mistaken identity. But then they have to be very, very careful. And this may be a class for the police force of Kerala, and take it that way and continue to work hard. And please give justice to Bharathi Amma, and that is our appeal.
Yeah, but I want to ask you something, that, you know, how long will such a case take for her to get some justice, sir? Because, you know, we know the record of the way the cases are dealt with, and it takes forever. How long will it take? Approximately.
Madam, it is, yeah, please continue.
Approximately, sir.
I think, Madam, since you have brought out this case, it is on the limelight. Since it is on the limelight, I'm very sure actions are going to be very fast. But then there are forgotten cases are there.
Yes.
They will never come to light, and they are forgotten. And I'm very sure the Kerala police will take a stringent action on the culprits, the policemen who are not being very, very serious about her, please.
Right. Girish, I want to ask you, sir, that, you know, there are also stories going around that apparently the original culprit, that is that Bharathi who worked in Rajagopal's father's house and vandalized property allegedly and broke things and also used abusive language, some reports are saying that she had a grudge against this Bharathi Amma, this elderly Bharathi Amma. Therefore, she deliberately planted her name in the Palagat police station. Is that true, or it is a complete cock and bull story?
Yes, there is a chance for it is become true, because the correct address of this Bharathi Amma has given by that real culprit. Bharathi Amma, Bharathi alias Bharathi Amma, Madathil house, address, everything is correct. For that, I have already stated that there was a complaint filed by this Bharathi Amma
Yes.
against that Bharathi before the Alappur police station. In that complaint, she attacked our Bharathi Amma, and in 1994, a complaint was filed. For the vengeance, in 1998, her address was used at Palakkad South, Town South Police Station. These are all records we can easily verify in Alappur Police Station and from the Town South Police Station. And moreover, the human rights violation is not at all from the arrest of a wrong person, but here the summons was issued in the year 2020. I have already sent, and it was displayed on our screen. Summons was issued in the year 2020, but the summons was not served to the witnesses by the police. Several times summons was issued, but witnesses were not turned up. Why? We have contacted, but the police deliberately not served the notice to the witness, because they thought that without the presence of witness, this case will be closed after a long time. Then nobody will know. One Bharathi came to the court, and for a long time, witness not present before the court, case closed. Here, yesterday is the only climax day. On that day, Rajagopal was present on that court. Here starts the climax. We didn't expect that. And the entire channel people and press people are outside. That is the only reason for not issuing summons to the other witnesses.
Right.
The police officer and the public prosecutor tried to close the case on the same day. Otherwise, they will issue summons to the other 6 witnesses. It will take another 25 years. Because nobody has interest to prosecute this case. The witness will not come to the box of the court. We tried, Anub and wife tried to produce that witness. So the case was closed yesterday with the help of media also. Otherwise, the court will issue summons to the other witnesses. The APP was trying for that. If it was happened, the case will not be closed. It can be closed in the year 2020 itself if they are trying to produce the real complainant or Rajagopal on the court. There also, there is a human rights violation was committed by the Town South Police Station.
Right.
The real culprit for committing the human rights violation is from the part of Town South Police Station. And they can very well trace out the other culprits.
Absolutely.
Real Bharathi.
Absolutely. Yes. And thank God, you know, the media is criticized very often, but in Bharathi Amma's case, I think it is because of their presence, like you say, Girish sir, that the case was shut, or else, like you say, it would have gone on for 25 more years. Can you imagine the ordeal of a woman? I have completely run out of time. Anupji, what do you want for your aunt now? What is the one wish that you want for Bharathi Amma? क्या चाहते हैं आप?
सर, बस अभी ये केस में से हमको यह बेइज्जत छोड़ दिया है, इसलिए हम लोग बहुत खुश है। अभी वो बहुत खुश रहने के लिए हम प्रार्थना करते हैं हमारा आंटी, और इनको अभी एडवोकेट ने केस फाइल किया है उचित स्वतंत्र वुमेन राइट्स को, उसमें इतना जल्दी हो सकता है, इतना जल्दी उसमें एक फैसला होने के लिए चाहता हूँ।
Absolutely, and I'll say amen to that. I hope that, you know, this case comes to fruition and the dignity of an elderly woman is restored. Let me thank all my guests, Mr. Girish, Anupji, thank you very much. Father Thomas, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed. Namaskaram. Moving on, this is also a story coming in from Kerala, and this is a political story. But tell you what, I'm not going to show you any particular visuals, or I'm not going to have guests in the studio, but it's my take on this story from Kerala. This is, like I said, a political story, but a perfect script for a pot boiler. 2 men on your screens, all set to fight elections even as their respective fathers were close compatriots for decades. I am talking about Anil Antony, who's right there wearing blue, who's the son of A.K. Antony, the veteran Congress politician from Kerala, and of course former defence minister, and Chandi Oman, who is son of the late congressman and former chief minister of Kerala. And in the midst of it all is an election, which is by-election, which is ensuing at Pudupalli Assembly constituency, where a vacancy has been caused by the death of Oman Chandi. Now, it is strongly being speculated that the Bharatiya Janata Party is all set to field Anil Antony, who actually quit the Congress, if you may recall, in January and joined the BJP. Chandi Oman is also gearing up to fight from a seat which his late father held for 5 long decades and continuously, ladies and gentlemen. Two men who belong to the same faith and perhaps also, who knows, mingled as kids, but soon to become political rivals. Like I said, a pot boiler, it can make such an exciting film. But the point here is, that is my take, is the D word, dynasty. Even as the Congress struggles with the dynastic label day in and day out, and also goes blue in the face, denying how it's a canard spread by the BJP, it decides, and gives a stamp on the candidature of Chandi Oman, who is the son of Oman Chandi, and maybe a rightful candidate. But the D word, the BJP, which has this holier than thou attitude about parivarvad nahi chalega or family fiefdom, is betting on Anil Antony, who is the son of A.K. Antony. Whoever gets elected, of course, will be the will of the people, but that H word never loses its sheen when we speak about Indian politics, and that is hypocrisy. That was my take, and in a bit coming up, a NEWS9 Plus documentary called Smart New World. It shows how climate change is transforming the way we feed ourselves. Future farmers face a huge challenge, feeding everyone on earth while being kind to the planet. Could genetically modified food be the answer? Watch this documentary to find all answers, and join me 5 o'clock every weekday to speak about the South Indian and about South India. Vanakkam.
BrahMos.